Hey guys, I'm Maura McGraw, and this is a recording of our first ever Gulf Coast Real Estate Investor Meetup. And we wanted to record this and put it on YouTube for anybody that couldn't make it to the meeting or anyone who just wants to learn more about real estate investing here in Alabama. Our next meeting is going to be on August 23rd at 11:30 a.m. So if you see this video and you're interested in coming to the next meeting in person, make sure to send me a message. You can leave me a comment, or I'll put my contact information below and I'll make sure to add you to the next invite because we would love to have you. Until then, make sure you enjoy this video. Hopefully you learned something about investing and property management. This video is sponsored by Doratus Properties, a residential real estate investment firm here in the great state of Alabama. And one of the things that we are most excited for right now here at Doratus is our rent-to-own line of business. As prices are increasing across the board and the cost of living has gone up, we've all seen that it's a little harder to get the rate of return that you want out of your traditional long-term rentals. And over the past 2 years, we've consistently seen our rent-to-own properties outperform our long-term rentals by a significant multiple. And so now we are helping other people add rent-to-own to their investment portfolio. So whether you already own a long-term rental here in Alabama that you would like to convert into a rent-to-own property, or if you would just like to acquire a new property and make it a rent-to-own property right off the bat, we would love to help you with that. Make sure you check out our website, doratusproperties.com, and we'll get you started. All right, enjoy the video. Just a quick note before we get started, this recording is of our first ever meeting, and so we are still working out some of the kinks, including the videography. So during a portion of the meeting where all the members are getting up and introducing themselves and giving a lot of great information, we could not capture all of that on camera that well because of the room and the camera angles. We are definitely going to figure this out for follow-on meetings, but for part of the video, you'll be able to hear a lot of great information, but not always see who's talking. Bear with us, we will improve this on the next one, but hopefully you still get a lot out of this recording. Welcome to the Gulf Coast Real Estate Investor Meetup Group. Thank you so much for coming to our first meeting. I know that this is going to be a great opportunity to learn, network, and connect with other real estate investors and professionals in our area. Here's a little bit about what we're going to cover today. I'm going to go through some announcements. We're going to have everybody introduce themselves, and then we're going to feature our property management panel, which is made up of some amazing property management professionals, and then we'll have some time for open networking at the end. Okay, so if you haven't got lunch, lunch is provided by Water's Edge Property Management Group, so make sure you grab your lunch. We also have Jessica Smith filming so that we can post this on YouTube for anyone who missed the event. Make sure to put your name tag on. That'll help with the networking at the end. And it will do me a huge favor if you could fill out your survey. It's attached to all of your packets, or you can scan the QR code and do it on your phone. And finally, we have a Facebook community, so make sure that you join our Facebook community so that you can connect and ask questions in between each of our monthly meetings. All right, so we're going to start with introductions. Everybody is going to stand up and you'll say your name, your real estate specialty or interest, one give, so something that's working for you in your business right now, and one ask. And because we have a lot of people, we need to keep it to 1 minute or less. And I'll go first, just as an example. So my name is Maura McGraw. I am a flipper, and I have a long-term rental portfolio that's made up of regular rentals and rent-to-own properties. My give, I'm loving this app called Cubicasa. You can use it to go in and scan your property, and it'll make you a free floor plan. I used it yesterday to confirm some square footage, so I'm loving that. And one ask is I am looking for a single family portfolio in the Birmingham area to buy right now. So if you have any leads for me on that, I would love it. All right, Evelyn.
Hello, everyone. I want to start by saying my forte is not public speaking, so please excuse any time. I was not prepared for this large of a crowd, but I'm Evelyn Hall. I am the property manager at Waters Edge PMG. I'm also the chairman of the diversity committee at Baldwin Realtors, where our specialty is fair housing. And my one give is Tenant Turner self-showing app, where I don't have to, that's something that I don't have to extend myself to each door that I need to open 4 or 5 times. And they do all the legwork for that. And my one ask is that if you have any single family duplex properties that you need to be managed, that you would consider me and take my contact information.
All right. Hey guys, my name's Lee Waldrop. I've been investing in real estate since 2011. Own and the qualifying broker for Vitalize Realty. We focus on single family houses. Also a licensed home builder, so we do rental house renovations and property management. I guess the one give I would say is this year that's really helped me is streamline my focus on business activities instead of being attracted to the shiny objects on investing in all kinds of different stuff. Is have a focus and a game plan and a vision on what you want to do for your investing. The one ask I would say would be, if anybody after this wants to network or grab a coffee at some point and just chat real estate, especially single family, would love to do that.
Hi, I'm Philip Allen. I'm part owner of Reef Properties. We are a short-term management company. Mostly do beach stuff. If you have like river houses or anything, Mobile Bay, any of those, anything that's short-term. My one give is something that's been really good in my experience is always bring something to the table. Anytime you're dealing with anybody, something to bring to the table to help them. If you come to the table with a contribution, you're much more likely to get something back out of it. My one ask is if you have any short-term rentals, hey, call me up. And if you know anybody that does, be happy to help them in any way. Another give would be anytime you are looking at a short-term rental, if you need a projection or you want to know, hey, what would this rent for? Or I don't care what the question is. I don't care if you're even using somebody else. If you have a question, I'd be happy to help. So.
Hi everybody, I'm Brian Griggers with Anchor Title Company. I do business development. For those of y'all that don't know anything about Anchor, we have offices in Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Pensacola, Mobile, Daphne. So if you do anything in this area, we've got you covered. My one give would be I deal with realtors for the most part, and I try to build relationships, and banks. I try to build relationships with them. So I've found it useful in my business to build a good relationship. Don't go in and just ask for business. Go and talk to folks and just be friendly. Have them for a cup of coffee or something. My ask is that if any of y'all know of anybody that's looking for a title company to help them out, I'd love to talk to them.
I'm Marcus Walker. I'm a realtor, born and raised right here in Fairhope. Familiar with the area. My give would be, it's an app called Video Ask. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with that. It's pretty much like you can triage different scenarios, and it's all automated and get people to where you want them to go. And anyway, look into it. It's pretty cool.
Say again what that's called?
It's called Video Ask. So it's a video of you, and then you have options for them to click through to a different video, and you can steer them wherever, like tailored to what they're looking for. And then, send them to different places depending on what scenario they click. Anyway, it's really cool. Look into it. Okay, so I can make a video and say, hey, I'd love to help you buy a house or sell a house. Are you looking to buy or sell? And then they pick buy or sell. So if they pick buy, they can schedule an appointment to talk about buying. Or if they're looking to sell, give me the property address and I can run scenario or comps. So it just depends on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to connect clients to because it's different depending on what they're looking for. So it's customizable. Anyway, my ask would be, give me a call if you want to talk more about that.
Hey, my name's Donnie McGriff. I've been here about 7 months. I've been doing investing full-time since 2018. Got a small rental portfolio. I've done a lot of buy, fix, and sell. And my one give would be, if you want to talk about going direct to seller, mostly direct mail, but I've done other strategies. Just network with me afterwards, and I'll answer any questions, or we can collaborate on what you're doing and what I'm doing. My one ask is I'm trying to delve and get my training wheels taken off for self-storage. So if you have an interest in that or experience or know of anybody looking to sell, I'd love to talk to somebody.
Okay. Hey everybody, my name's Steven. Kind of new to the area, only been here about 4 months. Built up a very small portfolio in my previous location. Love real estate, been trying to become full-time in it for a long time now. Right now, my thing that I'm trying to get into is buying and flipping mobile homes. It's probably something that nobody else around here is doing. So if you guys have anything that y'all don't want, mobile home in a park or on private land, I'd love to talk to you guys. Thanks.
Just saw the mobile home park. You did?
Hi, Sterling Stoudenmeyer. I'm relatively new to Fairhope. I came here to retire and I failed at that. And so my background, though, is working with private equity over the last 15 years, or doing turnaround and startups. And my give would be a site called Can I Build? I don't know if you guys have seen it, but helps you with permitting and processing and a bunch of the planning steps of trying to build something new. My ask is I'm working on a concept for a very specialty kind of it's really an office condo, but it's specifically targeted at contractors. So if there are any contractors who have an interest in space for their business, that's what I'd be interested in learning about.
I'm Lisa Stoudenmeyer, Sterling's wife. I'm a former public accounting CPA, so I focus more on the accounting side. My give would be to watch your bottom line. It's really easy to get excited about revenue and not watch your bottom line. And my ask would be, if you're looking for accounting services, I'd be happy to help.
My name is Natalie Conrad. I am sort of new to investing. We do have one rental property. Have had a Verbo Airbnb. Don't really have anything to give, but if you have advice for me, be open to hearing anything that you have.
Hello, my name is Amanda Allen, and I'm with the Reef Properties team. My give is marketing. I'm more than happy to help any of you. I like to do that kind of thing, and so if you have any questions on any of that, I can help with that. And then my ask would be, if you have any short-term rentals, to come to us.
Hey, I'm Joe Pearson. I'm also with the Reef Properties team. My one give is, if you're doing short-term rentals, dynamic pricing. That's a game changer in the industry. It came along several years ago. A lot of people aren't using it and have seen their rentals this year going down. Our rentals have been great. Dynamic pricing has changed the game. My one ask is, if anyone here knows of any off-market commercial land or unzoned land, we're looking to expand and build. So something down close to the beach.
Hi, my name is Lauren Burgess, and I do cost segregation, which is asset deferred depreciation, accelerated deduction. And working for me is LandGlide, which is an app, and you can see the county deed and all that good stuff, who owns it, how much they paid for it, and something I need help with. I work with commercial building owners and their CPAs, so any retail strip centers along with apartment buildings. Self-storage is a big one, CPAs, and short-term rentals, Airbnbs, all that good stuff. So basically, for every $1 million of the value of the building, we can give you 8 to 10% back. And it's can save several $100,000 on your taxes. Here you go.
Hey, I'm Jim Edenfield with Invest Success. I get the award for farthest traveled because I'm from Denver. Actually, I lived in the area here for 15 years. I was in the Coast Guard here back in, we'll just say a while back. But I'm Invest Success in Denver. We're a coaching and mentoring program. We teach people how to find the house, find the funding, and usually OPM, other people's money, very little of your money. We work with you finding contractors, and we work through the whole process of fixing and flipping, and either flipping it, selling it, or filling it and renting it. And then we start over. But all our classes are in houses that are owned by our students, so it gets down and dirty. You see the full, we peel the skins of the onion back. So we're in Denver, but we're expanding back to Mobile, the Mobile area. I'm down here to close on a house Monday, and we're looking at a 10-unit apartment. And so my give is, if you're new to getting into investing, number one is network. Join events like this today. I was happy to come see her for her first event, but network, because you'll learn people that you need to work with. You'll find people that's got money. You'll find people that you can lend money to, but network. The other thing is, know your numbers before you start looking for a deal. Learn how to pull up Zillow. All you need is a street address and a listing price. You go in and determine the after repair value. You should be able to, within about 15 minutes, be able to determine a realistic rehab budget, and you base your buy-in off of that. If you get involved on wholesale lists, they'll send you papers out going, this house is, the ARV is so high, the rehab budget is so small, and usually it's upside down. So you ignore what the numbers are on the paper. You determine those. That's the give. Learn that stuff, and you'll do good. I ask is like Lauren is holding an event. I'm actually holding a meetup group Tuesday night at Moe's Original Barbecue. If you go to Eventbrite, sign up. Your first beverage is on me. Come meet other investors like you and learn.
Hello, everyone. Jeff Jones. I've been investing for about 8 years now. Main focus is long-term rentals and flips. My give today would be, if you're new to investing and looking for a podcast or an avenue to learn different strategies for investing. I've learned a lot by listening to the Bigger Pockets podcast over the last 12 years. Mm-hmm. My ask is, if you have any off-market cash deals in Mobile, send them my way. Always looking.
Hello, I'm Stacy McElroy. I'm currently a police officer in Gulf Shores. I've got I've been policing for about 26 years. Started in Illinois, and thank God I moved down here. But I'm looking for an exit plan is what I'm doing. So my wife and I got my real estate license a couple years ago, and my wife and I bought a condo on West Beach. So we've been short-term rentals on that, doing self-managing, and I'm just wanting to, like this gentleman said, network with other investors and get myself educated. Really don't know where I want to go yet as far as a long-term, short-term, medium-term, or whatever. My brother-in-law does storage units, like this gentleman said, so I'm leaning that way because I have someone personally that can educate me and help me from the ground up and go that way. So I'm kind of leaning towards that. My give, I brought 3 books. You said, if we have a book. So I brought 3 books that I've read. Wealth Without Cash by Pace Morby, Subject to Wraps, Seller Financing. Grant Cardone, Real Estate Investing book. I've read that. And then for medium-term rentals, I just picked this up, 30-Day Stay by Ziona McIntyre. It's a pretty good book. So currently looking for a medium term in the Wichita area due to all the hospitals there and things like that. So thanks.
Hey everybody, Cody Hitchcock with Florida Business Development Corporation and Alabama Small Business Capital. We administer the 504 program on behalf of the SBA. And so what that means is the program was created so that business owners would have easier access to capital when it comes to your owner-occupied commercial real estate. Most of the time it's going to be a below market rate, a lot less money out of your pocket when you do the deal, and then it's a 25-year fixed rate on commercial real estate. So Cody Hitchcock, Florida Business Development. My give, is, especially for your real estate agents in the room, when you're working on commercial properties, if your buyers are not, they don't have their financials ready, they just don't focus on that, they focus on running their business, you can use the Small Business Development Center out of the University of Alabama and South Alabama here. They will help them get their business plan in order, get their financials in order. They'll help them get ready so they have the paperwork to buy. And then my ask is just any business owners that you know who are ready to physically grow their business, whether it's buying a building, or adding on to the one you already have, I can help you do that. Cody Hitchcock. And I used to fly planes for the Navy, so I always finish with, I'm the afterburner that fuels your growth.
Well, let me start by saying, go Army. My name is Michael Orey, and I'm going to be y'all's new favorite person because I am the banker in the room. I am with Community Bank of Mississippi. We have locations in Gulf Shores, Fairhope, Daphne, and Mobile, but I can do business pretty much anywhere on the Gulf Coast. So one of the things that is really cool about what I do is that I can literally touch every single one of these things that people have talked about. We do storage units. We do mobile homes. We do mobile home parks. We do raw land. We do condos. We do apartment buildings. Right now, I'm in the middle of doing 2 hotels in Biloxi. So we can literally touch all of it. We specialize in SBA 504 programs. I've got a dental office in Daphne that I did about a year ago. It's an awesome program. It helps on your cash flow. So literally a one-stop shop. I've worked extensively with Brian in the past. Don't ever use him. He's terrible. But no, great guy. Great guy. I love him to death. But you're welcome. My one give would be that if you have anyone that is on the fence saying they're waiting for rates to come down, that is something you hear all the time. My response is get it now. Because while you're on the fence waiting 6 months to a year for rates to come down, guess what's going up? The value. Absolutely. So while you're waiting for a 25 bip drop, you're losing $100,000 in equity growth that you could have. You can always refinance later, but you're going to miss out because the one thing the good Lord's not making any more of, land and real estate. Grab it while you can. And my one ask is if any of y'all ever need anything to do with financing, for any kind of real estate, owner occupied, raw land, whatever, give me a holler. Mike Gorey with Community Bank.
My name is Todd Brown. I'm an agent with eXp Realty. I really focus working with investors looking to buy rental portfolios and rentals. My one give is to always be teachable, always be willing to learn because somebody can teach you something, even if they have a lot less experience than you. Maybe the way they're approaching it with a new set of eyes would be something, way to look at it. So that's my give. And my ask would be if anybody has any rentals that they're trying to sell or fix and flips, please see me. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. Eric D'Souza. Family and I have been in the area for about the past 6 years. I'm coming off of 13 years of active duty as a naval officer. And I've been a Keller Williams agent in Daphne for the past 3 years as well. So right now, looking to increase my real estate business. My ask would be to let me be a sponge with all of your experience with investing. We're also trying to become real estate investors ourselves. My give, I don't have any knowledge to pass on as far as investing is concerned, but I do have these really cool fridge magnets that have conversion charts for the fridge for baking and beverage concocting, if you will. So feel free to come grab one and say hi.
Hi guys, I'm Caroline Cho with Revitalized Realty. Like Lisa, we're a property management company. I think my give would be something that's really worked for our business is being very dialed into what everyone does instead of having one person do everything. Where like our team members do exactly what their their set of tasks, which has helped us to be very productive. So for example, I only speak with owners, I don't deal with tenants. So our owners are really happy getting all that care. And then likewise with the tenants, they get a lot of attention. My ask is if you know anyone that is having a hard time with selling their house or dealing with tenants and want to take that off their hands, please send them my way. I think we have a really great, what do you call it? I'm sorry. I've been trying to take these notes. we have a really great system that helps owners, especially if they're new to real estate investing and property management side of things. So that's all.
Hey guys, my name is Eddie Summerlin. I'm with Revitalize Home Buyers. I'm a real estate investor. I flip houses. I have a couple of rental houses, and I look for off-market deals. And usually me and Lee will buy them, but we wholesale occasionally. So that brings me to my give. I actually have a couple of deals. So if you guys want to be added to my buyers list, more than happy to share those with you. My ask would be, I'm looking to network more, meet other real estate investors. So, let's chat. Thank you.
Eric Oden. I graduated from Fairhope High School sometime last century. Army Gulf War vet. I got in investing in 2017. Mr. Lee on the panel there sold me my first house flip, and he hasn't been able to get rid of me since. Matter of fact, Kendall here at the brokerage, she sold a boatload of them for me. My focus now is commercial, mostly multifamily apartments, multi-tenant retail space is where I focus, and some high-end flips. So my give is there's an app called Deal Check. Deal Check, you can underwrite house flips, rentals, and create reports. You can send them out to your private money lenders, partners, and things like that. It's a great app to underwrite. It could be as simplified or as detailed as you want, but it's been real helpful on the house flips. And my only ask is investors only need two things. It's funds and deals, and I need some deals. So if you see any decent house flips, banged up commercial property, or banged up rent rolls on commercial property, that's what I'm looking for.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Amanda Eckert. I'm a real estate agent here in Baldwin County with Real Brokerage, and I moved down here just over 3 years ago from Long Island, New York, where I still have a real estate office up there. So I have a network of investors that have just discovered that Alabama is one of our states, and it's a really great one. And it's starting to become, on everyone's radar. So I'm super excited to, see this opportunity, and it's hard to remember everything because there's so many people. So hopefully I'm gonna have a chance to chat with everyone afterwards. I do also flip and have a couple rental properties myself. And I just made the easiest lease of my life on a Vail, which I know is done through realtor.com, but super duper, 5 seconds, made a lease. Definitely recommend that for anyone who just has a couple properties and you don't want to get into buying software. And my ask is just do this again.
Yeah, that's a good ask.
Hi everyone, my name's Emily Carlson. During the day, I work for a software company. We sell software to country clubs, so back office and reservation software. But I decided recently I wanted to start looking into real estate investing. So like a couple others, I don't have much anything to say because I just got started, but an ask, any advice on successfully navigating your first rental property purchase? That'd be a really good help for me. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? Matthew Lopum. I'm a local lender with Bank of England Mortgage in Daphne. Hopefully, I'm at least the second favorite banker in the group. I work with realtors, accountants, attorneys directly with borrowers all the time, whether it's buying primary homes or investment properties. I've already helped a couple people in the group get pre-approved for some things. So my give is just, if you're looking to talk, get any advice on financing, whatever types of properties you're looking for, whether it's for yourself or any of your clients, I'd love to meet, get some coffee or some lunch. My ask is, let's keep doing this. I love the networking. I think it's been really beneficial to me and hopefully to y'all as well. So give me a call.
Hey, I'm Charity Bell. I'm a realtor with Exit Realty Gulf Shores, and I am new to the investment. I have been able to obtain a few properties, and now I just need to kind of figure out where to go from there. So my give would be, right now, I have free time, so I'm willing to give my time to anyone that wants to just allow me to shadow them and learn some things. And my ask is just to, as he said, use me as a a sponge because I'm ready and willing to learn how to really get deep down into this, because it's about just building some generational wealth for my kids and grandkids to come.
Hello, I'm Harold Alcantara. Company's called Hall Services. I'm a contractor and also full-time flipper. My give would be two different sources. One is an app that I use for my long-term, which is called the Zebo. It's pretty cool. I enjoy it because it has bookkeeping with it as well, and it's free. And the second thing for flipping, I actually follow a podcast, a channel on YouTube called Project RE. He's really good. He's also in Bigger Pockets a lot. He does mainly high-end flips out of Seattle, but a lot of knowledge. He's a contractor, so I think it's very important if you're a flipper, you have to know your numbers. And my ask is, I love to network, and I also love to partner up on flips. So if you want to use OPM, I'm the guy. So that's it.
Do you want to bring that up here?
Oh,
I got it.
okay.
I've got it.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, I'll go. Hi, my name is Jessica Smith. I'm with Ellison Smith Creative. I'm here recording video for Maura, and so she can use this. My give is just a little encouragement to not give up. I've actually been in short-term real estate and short-term rental real estate, and we had to sell our properties, but I know that there's a future for something else, so just don't give up. And then my ask is that if you need, I do branding photography, so small business branding photography and business coaching. So if you're looking to start a business and want to know the logistics of it, give me a call. And we have one more. Excuse me. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Sarah. Not currently in real estate investing, just trying to learn all I can. I'm a nurse and I work PRN at Children's and Women's Hospital. I am here to network and learn all I can about the business.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, thank you everyone for that. I always think that that's helpful to just know who everybody is, and we get a lot out of the gives and the asks. And now we're going to transition into our main event, the property management panel. Our 3/4 specialists, Amanda, as you saw, is back there with Reef Properties, but I'm going to have each of the panelists introduce yourself, a little bit about your business, and then we'll get into the questions. I'll ask the first couple questions, but then this is really for everybody to ask any questions you've ever had about property management. This is the forum. So let's start with you, Philip.
All right. So just introduction, is that where we're at?
Yes.
All right. Again, I'm Philip Allen, part owner of Reef Properties. Short-term rental management company. Like I say, we normally do stuff on the beach. As far as me, that's my wife. We have 4 kids. Been married 18 years. She's put up with me for a lot longer than I would expect anybody to. But as far as business, Reef Properties, the things they have to offer, my background, when I was 12 years old, I started working for a heating and cooling company. Did that for 20 years. Started my own heating and cooling company when I was 23. Decided I couldn't do that anymore and got out of it. Since then, I've built homes for myself and for other people. Just a lot of contracting and stuff like that. We've done flips, me and my brother, and I don't know what your questions are, so I don't want to get too far into it yet, but we started Reef Properties, and there's some things that I contribute and my partner contributes, but I'll wait for questions to come because I don't want to go too far. But that is me, and I'll move on.
Okay. Again, my name is Lee Waldrop with Revitalize Realty. So, been investing since 2011. My passion is I love helping people create legacy wealth through real estate, specifically single-family rentals. So, doing this since 2011, I've done a lot of different stuff, sub-to lease options, apartments, storage units, all kinds of stuff, cheap houses, expensive houses. Now we are really focused on B class, middle class, single family houses. We help people guide them through their retirement years, set up for success when you're in your working years, 30, 40, 50s, so you can retire comfortably, pass something along to your children. And so that's what our mission is now. We do have a contracting company, Revitalize Construction, that specifically focuses on renovations for single-family houses and duplexes, to where we can go in and focus on maximizing your return on investment, increasing the rent with all that in mind, and renovate a house for you so you're set up for success for years to come without all those pesky maintenance CapEx stuff that happens. So.
Hello again, everyone. I am Evelyn Hall. I am the property manager at Water's Edge PMG, where we are currently located. I have lived here forever. So I guess me personally, I'm so committed in my community that I feel like I'm always working. I see your tenants. I'm running into them in Walmart. I just left cheer. I'm coaching my daughter's cheer team, her little league cheer team this season. So I just left cheer camp, and so I feel like the bridge between the community and the company is so strong. And so to me, my strength is that I'm always working. So you can call me. I'm going to keep in contact with your tenants. I'm going to keep in contact with you. Our goal really is to provide that kind of service that we have provided for years in our resale business for just real estate, the sales over in this side. So if you have any questions, I know we're going to go into questions, but if you have any questions, concerns, you want to have coffee, you want to talk in a smaller setting, please give me a call. I'd gladly do that. Okay, the number one question, how in the heck do we find a good property manager as investors? Who wants to take it?
I'll take it. One of the biggest things I would say, because I've learned from experience, is don't go with the cheapest. Cheap is expensive. So, I've learned my lesson there. Also, try to find somebody that focuses on your niche. So if you're doing short-term rentals, hire a short-term expert. Try to stay away from the property managers that are jack of all trades. Going to be very mediocre, below average quality managing your investment if they do multifamily apartments, storage units, single family, short-term, retail shopping centers. I've seen people that try to manage all that, and it does not go well. So also call and see if they answer the phone, or at least call you back within 30 minutes. And the last thing I would say on finding a property manager is try to talk to somebody or a company that really cares about you and does not try to sell you something on the first phone call. That's a big thing. That you guys need to talk on the phone, meet in person, figure out kind of what your goals are, get to know what you're trying to accomplish in your investing before you guys ever talk about commissions or anything like that. So, who's got it?
You nailed it. That's exactly actually what I wrote down. But one thing that I would add is, which is hard to know, but try to keep them honest. There are some bad companies out there. I've seen where they have basically stolen from their owners, like replacing a pool liner. Now this is down at the beach and a little different, but replacing a pool liner and charging them twice. Just not twice, but doubling the price of what they did, stuff like that. Make sure they're an honest company. Like you said, don't go with the cheapest, because the cheapest is always trying to figure out how to charge you to change a light bulb. I mean, they're going to charge you $35 to go change a light bulb or something like that. So, if they are a reputable company, they're going to charge a reputable amount, and so going with the cheapest is not always the best, and just kind of stay on top of things so that you don't get ripped off.
Okay, this is my last question, then we'll have everybody else ask questions. But you guys have all worked with lots of owners and lots of investors. Can you talk to us about what makes for a good property manager and owner relationship, so you can actually have a good relationship and hopefully build on that?
I say the same. On the sales side, the agent can fire their client just as much as the client can fire the agent. So it's the same. If you are the owner, and we've discussed before and previously how you want to handle all maintenance calls. If you are, we're not married to each other, we're dating, and you want me to call you, it's imperative that you also answer the phone. But if you don't want me to call you, if you want to do a 5% increase annually and me handle everything, it's just important that the communication lines be open from the beginning, how you want to handle your business, so I can know how to handle your client, your tenant.
That was exactly what I was going to say. The communication is paramount with the relationship with the property manager, and also figuring out if you can stomach the passive nature of property management, because it's not for everybody. And I've told plenty of people when they ask about property management, hey, this isn't for you. Yes, you need to manage your property manager. You look at your owner statements, be conscious that you're not getting overcharged for repairs. But at the end of the day, they are your agent acting on your behalf, doing stuff to your house, protecting your house, talking and negotiating with tenants on your behalf. And you can't micromanage the property manager, and you can't you can't approve their application and really dive into it. And that's one of the big things is trust. Is the big thing here too, is trust in your property manager, not try to go get 4 or 5 quotes because you don't trust it. Get it fixed, because resident happiness is huge. That's the base of the pyramid on owner satisfaction. If your tenant's happy, they want to stay, and then you're happy because overall return on investment is better, because a tenant turnover is crazy expensive and costs everybody money. So just like you said, I think communication is paramount. Answer the phone if there's a repair. We have people ghost us, and it's like, oh my goodness, it just ruins the relationship. I know it stinks, but we offer financing if it happens. Like, just be transparent. We goof up too sometimes. We'll own our mistakes with you. Just let us know if you can't pay for that water heater. We'll figure something out. But if you just totally ghost us and we've got to front that and loan you the money for that water heater, then it just puts a strain on the relationship.
Definitely trust. If you can't trust your property manager or anybody you're in a relationship with, it's not a good relationship. So work on building that trust. As far as for your property, we're property managers. We're there to manage it, but at the same time, the owner has to be involved. Short-term rental is a little different, but don't buy the cheapest Wayfair coffee table out there, and then when it gets broke on the very first rental because a 2-year-old sat on it and it crumbled. Which, like I said, is a little different than long-term or something, but it still applies to any property. Going with the cheapest. If you got to replace an air conditioner, don't go with the cheapest Chinese thing you can find or whatever. Go with something that's reputable. Don't get the cheapest thing because it comes back to bite you. So have a good property and keep it maintained and do what you can to make your property good. Don't let it get worn down and tore up, because then if you don't care about the property, it's going to be hard for somebody else to care about it. So.
Can I go back and piggyback off of what Lee said about micromanaging? Not that any of my owners are micromanaging, and I don't have a problem with that. I want to also point out while we're sitting here, just they seem to be really into the swing of things over there, but your tenants have legal rights. And so sometimes when you're micromanaging your property manager, you're probably attempting to micromanage the tenant. It is their home for their enjoyment, and your manager is making sure your investment is,
hopefully in the better or the same condition than when the tenant went into it, but you can't ride by every day and say, hey, they didn't cut the grass, they didn't, because I'm starting to infringe, or we're infringing, the both of us are infringing on their right of quiet enjoyment. They do have the right to enjoy their home. They have the right to be tired and not cut the grass, or it's important to have that trust that your property management has your investment, at hand, and they're respecting it, and trust your tenants that your property manager is also managing the tenants, and they're trying to keep them happy so they can stay and they can protect your investment. Awesome. Who has the next question? Mike?
All right, quick question. From the bank side, I see a lot in the rising rate environment where current rents don't necessarily cover to be able to pay the mortgage note, so I have to ask for more money down or something to that effect. So I guess a two-part question. One, do you guys actively help your clients in establishing market fair rents that can then in turn do things like cover the notes, so they only have to put down 20 to 25% and not 50%, so they can actually have a profitable property?
Yeah, I'll take that. So that's what we specialize in, is helping people acquire, renovate if needed, and rent out their properties, and then repeat the process. The whole BRRRR strategy, I'm sure you guys have heard on Bigger Pockets. But yes, that is a problem with the rising interest rates and it being so expensive. So sometimes people already own properties and we're working reactive instead of proactive. When we have a proactive approach, when we're helping them get into something, then of course we work with them to make sure that their numbers are good, and that it depends on what their investment goals are. Some people will just pay cash or put 50% down because they are ultra conservative, which is great. Most people do the bare minimum they can to purchase the property. One thing to add to that is people who have owned properties for a little bit are seeing drastic increases in their insurance costs going up. There has been some rent compression, actually. It's not just crazy like it was, post-COVID, and so I think some people were spoiled a couple of years ago with these massive rents. People bought under pro formas with those massive rents a couple of years ago, and now on top of that, their insurance is going up and their repair costs are going up, because everything is more expensive to get it fixed. So I think the squeeze is a real thing, and it's a conversation we have on a weekly basis with our owners. It's not all fun and games. It doesn't just work out beautifully all the time. It kind of ebbs and flows just like the economy does. And so understanding that this is a long-term approach is what we do. This is a retirement vehicle. We take an approach of looking at, what's your total return? What's your appreciation been? What's expected appreciation, depreciation, some of your tax write-offs, the benefits of leverage, what's your overall ROI instead of looking at the cash flow? Because some of these cash flow warrior guys out there are getting crushed. And we try to look at it in a long-term light. But no, we've got some people that are losing money every month on their properties, and it's not fun when that happens. You look at the principal pay down and the appreciation that they're getting, and overall their wealth is growing, but it doesn't help the cash flow situation for sure. So it's tough.
Part of consultation, or part of one of the few meetings before we marry one another, is it's just like sales. It's a market, and I can list your property for rent for whatever you feel that it is worth, and that you think is gonna do everything it needs to do, plus put a little sum away for big incidentals later. However, in this area, the market for this house with this many bedrooms, this many bathrooms is it's just like he was saying, it just ebbs and flows, because
how long you stay on the market, how many of those payments you're having to make completely without any assistance because you've priced it here, and we're having a hard time getting someone to meet the qualifications for here, someone that can afford that type of payment. It's just like he's saying, it ebbs and flows. It's like the risk of investment. I want a guarantee, but there's like no guarantees, in life. But it is a discussion, that we have, and a lot of the discussion comes from you got to push to the person who's the expert. I'm going to give you the market. I'm going to tell you what I can do. I'm going to, provide services I can, but ultimately, your CPA needs to be involved. Your loan officer needs to be involved to give you more concrete fact, how in the long run, the projection of your property, your investment, how that's going to look for your pocket and your portfolio.
Sure, I'll go. To that question of the down payment and stuff, there's two different types of investors. Some are more investing time, some are more investing their wealth that they have. So trying to get numbers to make sense, obviously they need to for bank standpoint, and they need to if you're doing an investment anyway. Always it's the bottom line. But an example that I usually use is actually some people who live right over here in Old Battles. They had a unit down in Plantation. It was a 3-bedroom. They bought it in, this has been a few years now, so I think they bought it in 16. They bought it for like $260. And in 2021, they sold it for $400,000. Were they always, maybe it cost them $200 this month, but maybe not the next month or something. So everything's always going up. Any house, and even if the market does pull back a little bit, give it another 5 years, you're going to be, you're going to put, it might cost you $100 a month, but you're going to put $100,000 in your pocket. So it's about what kind of investments you're trying to do. And there's some owners that didn't buy very well, and you need to be financially stable to invest. Investment's not for everybody. So that would be my answer to that question.
What else?
I have a question, kind of piggybacking on the whole insurance thing. It's not really a question for the panel, but really everyone in the room. With the rise in insurance rates for these houses, for rental properties, what is everyone doing that that helps the cash flow? I mean, my policies continue to climb every single year, and I'm looking for a strategy to kind of lessen that.
Do you increase your rents every year?
Absolutely.
North of I-10.
I got one comment on that. I know insurance that I got quoted, we just moved actually in October, and the quote that I got in September, the quote was in September, and in November it had dropped. It was from $4,400 to $2,500, and they said because the claim on the house had went down after Sally. So shop around and continue to shop around, because some of those companies that pulled out of this area are coming back. So for insurance rates, I've seen some of those come down lately. I'm not saying that's a guarantee, but continue to shop around and try to help those insurance rates.
Yeah, that applies to the beach as well. I mean, anyone here who has short-term rentals at the beach knows that assessments are like a yearly event down there for insurance. Good news is that I think we were down to 2 carriers who would insure at the beach. So there was, they could pretty much charge whatever they wanted. Well, this year we had 2 new carriers come in, and we're supposed to have 2 more next year. So that competition is driving that number down a lot.
Use a broker too, don't use a captive agent.
Yeah, and they have said that as long as we can avoid it, which knock on wood,
no hurricanes.
As long as we can avoid a hurricane hitting the coast this year, our rates should be almost cut in half next year. So.
Lord.
That's what they say.
Don't bet on it, but.
Lord,
that's what they say. Now, this is specific to the beach, but.
You got hurricanes, we got wildfires in Colorado, same thing. There's certain areas that aren't uninsurable. But he had a quiet comment. Do not go to the big box insurance companies, go to brokers, because they can shop around and get multiple companies.
And have them shop for you every year.
Every year.
And we had a massive fire in the Boulder area that came and wiped out hundreds of houses and neighborhoods. And the biggest thing, the majority of people found out they were not covered to the level they needed to be. So just like you go to the dentist once a year, you need to talk to your insurance agent once a year and say, listen, review this.
And along those lines too, also with the rising property values, a lot of times people will come to me, the note on their note is only say 200,000. Well, the bank only cares about getting paid off what's owed on. So my minimum insurance is going to be 200,000. The property could be worth $1 million. You insure it for 200,000 and it burns to the ground. You got nothing to rebuild with. So your replacement cost is what you've got to pay attention to, not what you need to get the bank paid off. Because again, as first lien holder, I don't care. To be honest with you. But as an investor, you're going to want to put something back if something happens to your property. So do not go cheap. Like he said up there, don't go the cheap route and do, just what the bank goes, do your full replacement cost.
Yeah, and then from just as an investor, sometimes you have to adjust your strategy. We've had to do this. We used to have our whole portfolio, all traditional long-term rentals. Now it's 50% rent to own and 50% long-term because I've looked at the numbers every month and the ROI on my rent to own is way higher. So I just asked myself, like, how do I increase my revenue every month? And I had to adjust my strategy into rent to own where my tenant buyers are taking care of the maintenance. They're absorbing a lot more costs so that we're making a lot more money. So I think sometimes it could just be switching your strategy. Maybe if you're long-term, maybe you entertain mid-term or short-term. We personally have done a lot more rent-to-own, and that's worked out for us.
I'll add one thing on rent-to-own. A lot of people go rent-to-own. There's another one called leased option. Compare it. Because if you do rent-to-own, if they stop paying, you have to foreclose them. In Colorado, they can take years. If they're a lease option, you evict them, which is in weeks and months. So if you're looking to help the renters buy, look at those two options and compare your exit strategy.
I have a question. And to your point, I know McCarran Insurance out of Orange Beach has been able to save some deals for me lately because insurance was so high, they were able to get it. Anyway, might call them. I don't know where your question was going to be, and I don't know much about this, but it's a fear I have. I'm under the impression that Alabama is a right to live state. So like, even if they stop paying, it's a huge, because then like squatter rights get involved. And then, do y'all have any experience with that? It's terrifying to me.
For short-term rental, we don't have a problem.
I mean, we've had a lot of stuff. Just being an investor, you might buy a house with somebody in there, and then it might be an ejectment, and it takes months and months and months. We haven't had many problems with the evictions. Just, if you do everything correctly, your eviction warnings are correct, the communication's correct, the lease is correct. One thing that I am steering Revitalize towards, just as a personal preference, is we're getting out of subsidized rentals. So Section 8. People love it because they pay above market rent. But I do feel like there's a little bit of government overreach in that, and I would rather just deal with a private individual renter family and have that relationship on a lease contract rather than bringing in a third party, which is Uncle Sam, HUD Housing. And so that's just personal, but that's going to be a lot harder. Even right now with Alabama is pro-landlord. Basically, if you look at a lot of the other states, you're sending them 30-day eviction warnings instead of 7-day eviction warnings. Just little things like that, and it starts creeping in, then, it's going to really screw your ROI up, so.
I personally have talked to we have an attorney, and I call if I want to ask if the law is changing. I call. Our account is in good standing. I speak to her probably more than I speak to maybe one of the owners of the company. So she has a formula, and I go by her formula, and she handles the evictions, and she has a very, very, very high success rate. I think over 90%. So, and no, I feel like that should put a lot of confidence into the owners that deal with us. Whatever she tells me, we've got our forms together, we've got our lease together, and the formula for, non-compliance or, with the lease, and I follow it. Because Fair Housing tells me I have to do the exact same thing every time with every tenant. I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm following the formula to the T, and she's gonna take care of, not exactly Maura, but my lawyer on my shoulder. She's gonna take care of the rest for me. So even though it's a valid fear, it's a big thing to invest in a property and let somebody else live in it. But I feel like we're dealing with facts and numbers, and that the numbers are on my side here, my attorney's side, really my attorney's side with that.
So I think Alabama is probably one of the best states in the country for this. And some of you know this, but I'm a recovering property manager. I used to be in the business. I have fortunately or unfortunately done many evictions, and I think the longest one ever took was 3 months, which compared to other states in the country, that is very, very good. I just had to do one last week that took literally 2 weeks. Compared to other states, I'm from California, unfortunately. Properties in California, yes, you may have the 6 months to a year, but in terms of Alabama is probably as good as it gets in terms of landowner rights. So you're always going to have that risk, but Alabama is not the problem. Alabama is one of the best places to invest for landowner rights. And then also as an investor, you also got to think about what else can I do to hopefully avoid going into eviction. So there's always options. There's always cash for keys. If you walk up to your tenant with a check or a handful of cash and say, I want you out in 5 days, cash screams, and that is very effective at getting people out of your property. So you don't always have to wait to have your property go to eviction. There are ways to handle that other than that. But great question, though.
I'll add this, you guys should be thankful you're in Alabama, because in Colorado, it's bad, going worse for landlords. You talked about Section 8, some people love them, some people hate them. If you love them, you cannot market saying, I want Section 8. If you're against it, you can't deny them. In Colorado, if you have put a place out for rent, you need that standard script with questions you're going to ask, and you have to take the first qualified, not first come, not your favorite, first qualified. That could be a Section 8 if you hate them or love them. So you guys are much better playing field over here.
I'll make one more comment on that. If you are afraid of that, short-term rental, if you are afraid of that, fear is real. We have 2 hours to get them out because of that guy right there. If somebody's in there tearing up the house on a vacation rental or doing something or having a party, whatever it might be, we call Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, whatever, and say, hey, we got a renter, they need to go now. They show up, they do not leave until they have left, and they only get 2 hours to pack their crap and get out. So, and they don't get their money back, they get nothing back, they lose their deposit, you're done, get out. So if you're afraid of that, maybe we're for you.
Shameless plug.
No such thing.
What other questions? What are some of the crazy behind-the-scenes stuff that you guys deal with as property managers that maybe your owners aren't aware of? The stuff that, because sometimes there's like this weird animosity between the owner and the property manager, but you sometimes have no idea the BS that they have to deal with on a daily basis. So maybe this will be a good
Well, this is another plug I can put in there, I guess now. So somebody will show up and want a Keurig instead of a Mr. Coffee, which we try to put both in all of our rentals. Another one we had was the air conditioner went out, and so in short-term rental, I mean, if you don't get something fixed immediately, you lose your rental. So that might be a $3,500 rental for that week or more. I mean, we have houses that rent for $30,000 a week. So the things you wouldn't realize in our business is the beast never sleeps. It's never ending. I've had phone calls at 2 a.m. that said, my water heater's not working. I'm leaving tomorrow. What are you going to do about it? So we had this summer an air conditioner that wasn't working. It ended up getting replaced, but they wanted fans to sleep. Hey, go to Walmart, go get them, whatever. We can bring them to you if you need. They were already at Walmart, so they picked up fans. When I got there to help them, I took cash out of my pocket and gave them $80 for their fans they bought. That didn't come back on the owner or anything. Just things that we, like I say, it's different for short term, but it's a little more demanding because if we don't keep our reviews up, we're not going to rent. So we will do anything, even if it comes out of my pocket, to keep my rental up, to be a Superhost or one's a Superhost, VRBO, the other one's a Premier Host. So things that we do are a little different than y'all, but it's drop. It's drop what you're doing right now and run and make them happy as you can.
Example on that. It was, I think, last Sunday, 8 o'clock at night, I get a phone call. I live in Fairhope, drove all the way down to Carib in Orange Beach to show someone how to turn the hot water on the shower. He had a little center knob, and I haven't seen a picture. I tried walking them through it, couldn't do it. Drove all the way down to Carib to literally show them how to turn a knob. But they were thrilled. They were absolutely thrilled. So.
Were you thrilled though?
No. I had choice words, but I did them quietly to myself.
I don't really have a whole lot to add. There's been so many crazy off-the-wall stories since 2011. It is just unbelievable, mind-boggling, from, people answering the door multiple times naked, to cops getting called. I will say, as the rent prices go up, the value of the house goes up, the stability and all the crazy drama stories goes down, which is something to think about, when you're investing in real estate. One thing I think, too, that we deal with behind the scenes is just the constant upkeep of the property, the constant, the maintenance. I mean, your own houses, what it takes every weekend. You're probably piddling around on something. Rental houses are full-blown houses. They need upkeep, and so always working to do that. I think one big thing with our owners sometimes is when you're in California, across the country, you're kind of don't feel the empathy for a tenant when their AC goes out and the heat in Alabama, and you're like, oh, let me price shop. And so you got somebody paying retail rent, living with some oscillating fans for a week because you want to get 5 quotes. And so we deal with that a lot, and the health and safety of the renter and their happiness is huge too. We don't want you to get ripped off on a repair, but that's one thing that we deal with a lot, is because some of that battle of the urgency of when something goes out. Like hot water heater, perfect example. Tenant has kids too. It's, hey, we got to get it fixed. I know it's 4 p.m. on a Friday, but let me think about it. Let me do this. Nope, there is no thinking about it. We just got to go. If you get mad at us, I'm sorry, but we're just got to go with it. So that's one thing we're always kind of that dynamic with us and the owners, making sure that the health and safety of the tenants is there, but the owners are happy too. It is one of those things.
If I had known that Maura was going to ask this question, I would have sent her a video of, I went to do a move-in inspection, and the house had been vacant. It was a brand new build house in a neighborhood in Daphne. And I'm assuming, well, I'm not assuming, I know for sure, the neighbor, her dog, there was no fence, and that he was all over both of these yards as it was his. And I went out to do my move-in inspection, and I'm videoing and I'm taking pictures, and I'm on the outside of the house and I'm going around. And as soon as I pass by the AC, he spots me, and I am like imposing on his territory. Oh, no. His owner was on the back porch, and she was frail and not moving fast. She probably did need a dog to live with her, you know. But he did not take too kindly to me being there. And it was on video because I was doing the move-in video. I made some of the most ungodly noises. I was screaming. I was, please, 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 please. I begged for my life. I did. And she was like, he's not going to bite you, but he was going to eat me. Y'all don't understand. And so that's the tenants were definitely, it was a couple, and they, the husband was trying to, you know, step in, and so I'm assuming, you know, this has been fairly recent, so I haven't been back for another inspection. I haven't had any problems in the new house, so I'm assuming at that point the relationship was kind of iffy, because he was like, my wife's gonna be here and your dog is out of control. So yes, there are sometimes things on the ground that are happening that no, the owner is not privy to. But before I came into property management, there was another big thing that we did when we're trying to do short term. I mean, not to say that, you know, long term or medium term is, you know, a more safe bet, but there was 2 hours wasn't going to do it. We had a really big incident with you qualify your long term tenants a little bit more in depth, and so your short term tenant is more of a stranger. So things can happen really quickly, like as far as damages or theft or anything like that. So I'm glad he has Gulf Shores Police Department, but that was be something that kind of turned us away from, oh no, it's going to, we want to have more control over the screening process. So yeah. I do not envy you in short term, but I do need a contact in short term. So I'm glad we had this panel, because I do have people that look for short term managers, and that just I can't be down there telling them how to turn the hot water on.
Well, we probably have time for one more question before we do some networking.
I got a simple, I guess it can be simple. Anyway, everyone starts at zero, right? So like this nurse, your nurse, right? She came in, like she's wanting to learn. I've got one property. I don't know anything. I think someone back here has no experience, whatever. I like to read a lot of books and watch YouTube, and I think I'm one of those guys who's like, all right, paralysis by analysis, and I'm afraid, not afraid, but I'm like, okay, how in the heck do I take that first step? You know what I mean? So how did you guys, when you first started out, if you learned it all on your own, or how did you, it's all about networking and finding a mentor. How did you guys go about doing that?
I think you said it. The best way, if you can, is to find a mentor that is doing what you want to do. That will help. It's not going to save you. There's no saving. You're still going to have to go through the gauntlet a little bit. But if you can at least find a mentor that's doing what you want to do, they can help guide you and get you over some of maybe the major speed bumps. That would probably be my biggest piece of advice, but also just go for it and realize on your first deal doesn't have to be a home run. Sometimes you just need to get that base hit. You need to just take action and realize it's your first deal. Is it going to be amazing? Maybe, maybe not. Personally, I lost $30,000 on my first ground up build. And was that really effing rough? Yes, it was. But look, 7 years later, things are good, and I learned so much. So sometimes it's just taking the action, realizing this may not be a home run. You may lose a little bit, but you're going to learn so much, and you're in the game. Once you get in the game, it's so much easier to move forward. But you got to get in the game.
I'd like to add, we do interviews with our students after the fact, and like, what was the best part? It wasn't, oh, you found me a deal, you helped me save money. The biggest compliment we get back is, You gave me confidence to move forward. You gave me the nudge to get off the shelf and get moving.
Gotcha.
So network, again, network, do that. But stay off of YouTube. Just don't go on YouTube and Google real estate investors.
Yeah.
A guy in a camera in his mom's basement, he's the expert. So.
Right, yeah, for sure.
But network, find somebody that's doing what you want to do. And say, hey, Lauren, I hear you're an expert at doing this. Can I buy you lunch? Let me learn from you. Let me shadow you.
Sure.
Find somebody. Partner on the deal. We're investing, bringing people's money from Denver down here to invest in our projects.
Okay.
They want to do it, but they don't have any clue. They're scared to death. It's like, we've done this. Tim was a recovering property manager too, but we've done this. So you bring your money in with us, and we'll do all the hard work, and you get the benefit. But we'll teach you as we go.
Okay. Cool.
And it's okay to go in and go, I'm new. And a lot of the gurus say, fake it till you make it. That is crap.
Yeah.
Because if you came to me and go, I know everything, I don't need you, I'm not going to tell you anything.
Right.
But if you come in and go, hey, I'm new, I'm here to learn, I don't know anything, help me. Or I plan on going to do X, Y, Z, and you may go, no, don't do that. I lost my shirt doing X, Y, Z. Try 1, 2, 3.
Gotcha.
Be transparent and it's okay to say, I'm new, I'm learning.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of just jumping in. That's my personality profile on the PI index is just going and doing it. But it also depends on what stage of life you're in. When I first started investing, I was just married, living in an apartment, and had no kids. And so I did crazy stuff like sandwich lease options and sub 2 to lease option in. And, it's stressful and it's risky. And the no money creative strategies are not what it's like on YouTube. Trust me, it is crazy. And you got to be super smart to do it. You're at a stage in your life, you got a family and all that. As I've moved into family man life, I have gotten in way more traditional with my investing. And so one thing that I try to do now is make sure when you do buy something, it's like, you put your money into something, capital preservation is huge too. What's your exit strategy if life changes? If you have a family member get sick and you need the money, I'm a big proponent. And when you do invest in something, if you don't have a ton of cash elsewhere or whatever, then make sure the house is sellable. And for me, that's B-class middle family houses, because I know if I get in a pinch, then a homeowner wants that house. Within 12 months, I can get the renter out. Homeowner wants that house. You have a cheap, D-class Section 8 type of house, you can only sell it to a discount investor that wants to give you pennies for it, and it's tough to unload with preserving your principal. So, it's just jumping into a safe investment and just see where it goes. My very first investment was not profitable. I was kicking myself for a few years. I was losing about $100 a month every single month. And after about 6 years of owning it, the fundamentals of my learning on it was I bought a brick on slab in a nice neighborhood, and it went up like 65 grand. And I moved from Birmingham to Fairhope, and I sold it because I wasn't there anymore. And that was, something that, if my fundamentals were 90% there, I misjudged the rent, which, but it was my very first house. But overall, the long-term goal still happened. And real estate's forgiving in the long run. Mm-hmm. It's not forgiving in the short term. And we have some people that come in and buy houses and they're like, oh, I want to do something else in 2 years. And you didn't give it enough time. Mm-hmm. 4 or 5 years to start thinking about that selling by the time you pay agents all over again and you do all that stuff. So,
Okay, we're gonna do at least have a few minutes left for networking. You guys can stay as long as you want, but I know some people have to leave at 1. If you could do me a huge favor, in your little packet, the last page is a survey. If you would fill that out and turn it to me, the goal is to keep doing this and to make it hopefully better every time. So your feedback will help me make it better. We do have our next meeting scheduled for Friday, August 23rd. Depending on your feedback, it will probably be at the same location, but if you give me feedback that you hate the location, then we'll change it. And we do have a Facebook group you can join so that if you have questions in the meantime, I would love to see you on there. And if you're interested in sponsoring the next meeting, send me an email. And with that, I'll open it up to eating lunch and open networking. And thank you guys all for coming. Thank you to our panel. Thank you to our panel. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video. We hope to see you in person at our next meetup event on Friday, August 23rd from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at The Hatch in downtown Fairhope. You can get more details on our private Facebook group for the Gulf Coast real estate investors. And again, thank you to our sponsor, Doratus Properties, for sponsoring this video so that we can share all of the great lessons learned from our meeting with a little bit wider audience. And if you're interested in real estate investing, and particularly rent to own, make sure you check out our website, doratusproperties.com.